Boy wanna throw 10 buck, quick, whole gang, whole man, old school, young jam, all black, MZ, still screaming out that chain gang. Generations caught up, look how things will switch. People there quick, now they wanna move at the quick. Boy wanna throw 10 buck, quick, whole gang, whole man, old school, young jam, all black, MZ, still screaming out that chain gang. These brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Why they wanna move like that? Why you want gone? Why you want act like that? Why you play hard? Cold, these brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Why they wanna move like that? Why you want gone? Why you want act like that? Why you play hard? Generations caught up, look how things will switch. People there quick, now they wanna move at the quick. Boy wanna throw 10 buck, quick, whole gang, whole man, old school, young jam, all black, MZ, still screaming out that chain gang. Generations caught up, look how things will switch. People there quick, now they wanna move at the quick. Boy wanna throw 10 buck, quick, whole gang, whole man, old school, young jam, all black, MZ, still screaming out that chain gang. These brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Why they wanna move like that? Why you want gone? Why you want act like that? Why you play hard? Cold, these brothers.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Kenny Jackson. I am a cultural programmer at Mosaic Cross Cultural Center. I am a third year sociology, race and ethnic studies major. I use they, them pronouns. And thank you, everyone, for coming to the Native American Heritage Month open mic. We're very excited to collaborate tonight with a Native American student organization, also known as NASO, and the Student Union at SJSU. Thank you. Um, Now, before we get started, I wanted to go over some community guidelines. Hello? Can everybody hear me now? Yes, hopefully. Okay, cool. I'll start over, but we're holding space with grace, so please be kind to everyone in the chat and everyone that's performing. Uh, Remember, free speech, not hate speech. We're here to express ourselves, so feel free to say what you want, but also remember, like, there's a line between things you can say and what you shouldn't say, especially hate. Express, not impress. We're here to share. We're here to express ourselves. So no need to feel to feel perfect. Just come and express and share who you are, what your art is, what your thoughts are, um, and also to provide trigger warnings. Um, the power of your story can cause painful impact. So if you are going to be sharing something that might trigger someone or make someone kind of feel uneasy, please share that beforehand. And so just keeping all that in mind, we highly encourage everyone that's watching to comment in the chat so we can build that community. Also, you can sign up to perform after our break through the link. We're going to be sharing that in the chat as well. So if you feel inspired, go ahead and sign up, click the link, and just fill out the information. So as we're all spread out over California and the world, we want to take time to acknowledge that Indigenous people are the true stewards of North America. We encourage you to search and learn more about the Indigenous people in your area by going to native-land.ca, or another quick option is to text your city and state to 1-907-312-5085. Let me say that again. 1-907-312-5085. And you'll get a response that tells you which Indigenous people's land you are currently occupying. So you can, learn a little bit, learn who to recognize in your area. And now I would like to invite the homie Ilse from Nassau to introduce themselves and come on up.
Thank you, Kenny. Yeah, my name is Ilse. I am a Chicanic Studies major, environmental justice minor, and the outreach coordinator for Nassau. Nassau is a student organization at San Jose State that serves Native Indigenous students. We are excited to have our featured artist with us today, Rowana Rowi Shibala. Rowana is a Native American of the Diné Navajo tribe and Shiwi Zuni tribe. She is from Fort Defiance, Arizona. Shibala earned her bachelor's in theater at Northern Arizona University, and is currently a master's of arts in creative writing, and at the Institute of American Indian Arts in Santa Fe, New Mexico. She consistently brings the voice of her heritage into her performance, as well as written work, often treading into spaces where hearing Native voices is unlikely. In doing so, she hopes to reframe what it means to be a Native person for the masses, point out the appropriation of her people's culture, and reclaim an identity that has been distorted by heavily edited versions of history. And also, in keeping that in mind, we also acknowledge and honor that that San Jose State is located on Muwekma Ohlone land. And I forgot to mention it earlier, pronouns they, them. But thank you, Rowana, for being here tonight. I'm going to invite you to please introduce yourself and get us started tonight. Thank you.
Great. Hello, everybody. Ayat Rowana Shibala Yincha, Sanjakini Neshland, Chitney Bashashin, Twatsone Shite, Nast Eja Chanela. Hello, my name is Rowana Rowi Shibala. I am Diné, also known as Navajo. I come from the Navajo Nation out in Arizona, the Four Corners region. I am, my hometown is Fort Defiance, Arizona. Where my family comes from is from White Cone, Arizona. And I am currently living in Albuquerque, New Mexico, working and going to school at the Institute of American Indian Arts for my my master's in creative writing with an emphasis in poetry. So I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much for extending an invitation for me to come out here and to share my poems with you, to share my I guess pretty much my existence on where I am, who I am, where I'm from, and also just to hopefully give you guys some good energy. So I'm looking forward to any questions and just to share my poems with you. And also a happy Native American Heritage Month. It's really something to be Indigenous, the different type of things that us being resilient and coming from where we come from, what we have endured, and at the same time, like to that we are still here, the strong Indigenous spirits that we have. I wanted to There's a lot of my poems that I have here that I write about do tend to have a lot of history in it. So a lot of history or different type of struggles that we as Native American people have endured, have overcome. So I want to share these poems with you. And then also there's some like really beautiful moments too, of course, that we have all came through. The one I wanted to kind of bring to light is the MMIW, which is Murdered Missing Indigenous Women. That is, it has been happening since the beginning of the inception of this country. I know, and it hasn't really been given a lot of recognition outside of the Native American community. And I wanted to bring to light about a couple of things. This poem that I'm going to read to you is called MMIW Pocahontas. Everybody knows who Pocahontas is, especially after the Disney made a movie about her, how she's a Disney princess. But a lot of people don't know that she was actually 11-year-old girl who was taken, who was raped, who was harmed. I was like all these different things that had happened to her. The history of Pocahontas has definitely been skewed in so many different ways, and that is pretty much kind of like a representation of the history of Native American women, Indigenous women, not just here in Native America, but here in America, but also like in Canada, in Mexico, in different regions where Indigenous women's like where they're being harmed. So this poem kind of like reaches towards all of them. So it's called MMIW. I'm going to start it off. I know it's going to start off heavy. I want to start off heavy, kind of give you a lot of different things about my history, about Indigenous history, and where we come from, and what we endure. And then I want to end it with something light and kind of going towards this teaching that I have with my poetry, and kind of go through within the writing workshop that I had done earlier this week. So this is MMIW. When the president called Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas, he thought he was being clever and funny, only confirming the idolization of a child that has been turned into a fetish. In 2017, nearly 10,000 Indigenous women went missing in the U.S. Her real name was Matawoka. Powhatan for flower between two streams. She resembled her mother, so she took on her name, Pocahontas, dies at 21. Taken by English captors. Ask yourself, if your favorite princess were alive today, would she be hashtagging Me Too? Taking her name back for all Indigenous women, screaming, I survived. In 1995, she becomes a Disney princess. She becomes a Halloween costume. Her 10-year-old body becomes full-figured, a Barbie doll collectible. It's the year that I learned that John Smith's story becomes a musical starring a rape victim. It's the year that I learned that I had to know all the colors of the wind. It's the year that I learned that saving white men always makes you the hero. 1617, our daughter dies in England. Renamed Rebecca, a good Christian name for a good Indian. How else would she have been accepted if she wasn't whitewashed, language lost, new name, new clothes, knew her? Would we have put out an Amber Alert? Posted pictures of her assailants, described the ship in detail, filed her name along with the others. We are still searching for her bones, wanting to bring her home. When you call Native women Pocahontas, your breath reeks of a missing persons report. When you call us Pocahontas, it says little girls tickle your fancy. Murdered missing Indigenous women is no recent epidemic, and you wonder why we are so quick to go to battle. It's because history has never been kind to our women. Thank you. Like I said, it is very important. A lot of things that have happened to our Indigenous people and what we have endured, and especially with our women. A lot of our traditions, a lot of our storytelling, a lot of our, like, we have so much respect for our women and for our people there as well. So the next poem I want to share with you all, kind of going along with that story and history. So this month, last month, there was a day which was called, I think it was, or no, it was in September. They had a day where I was talking about residential schools and survivors of those who actually went into residential schools. So in 1867, this man named Captain Richard H. Pratt, he had this idea of turning Native Americans into citizens. So therefore, pretty much the slogan at that time was kill the Indian, save the man. So it was more of just trying to colonize us, to take away our language, take away our culture, and to civilize us into this Western society that we live in today. During this time, a lot of things were going on, and right before that was the Long Walk. So this poem that I'm going to be reading and performing for you is called Indian Phoenix. There's a lot of different things, a lot of unpacking that could be happening to this poem, and it's interesting. So when I first wrote this poem, a friend of mine had asked me to write a poem about the city that I lived in. And at the time I lived in Phoenix, Arizona. And he asked me to write a poem about Phoenix. And so I had to do research about the city that I was living in. And it was just so interesting on how the dynamics, especially when you look at it within an Indigenous perspective. And so the ancients, or the I guess the ancestors of the Tohono O'odham people within that area would have been the Hohokam people. The Hohokam people had this very well structured infrastructure of their city, and they actually had canals. And Phoenix, Arizona is the hot place, desert, hardly any water. We had like crazy monsoons during different parts of the month, but they had this like canal system where they actually had like this irrigation where it would have irrigated the crops, the food. It would a functioning civilization. Well, when the Hohokam people disappeared from that land, that irrigation system was still there. So what when the settlers came in, they actually found this irrigation system, and that's how they built Phoenix, Arizona. So that's kind of like a little like tidbit information for you to know about as well. In 1864 is when the Long Walk had happened, is where the cavalry had come together, and they had pretty much cattled all the Navajo people and making them go into this long walk all the way from Fort Defiance, Arizona, where the town that I come from, I was born and raised, all the way to Fort Sumner, which is like a good between 300 to 400 mile walk. And they had all these thousands and thousands of Navajo people walking there. And those who weren't, whoever couldn't keep up, they were essentially killed. But the interesting about us is that we were able to come home. So within the areas that we're from is called the Four Corners area, and also like within our area is like our sacred land. So we were one of the few tribes, if not the only tribe, that's able to return back to their land after displacement from being removed from all of our land. So this is called Indian Phoenix. Transfer the savage-born infant to the surroundings of civilization, and he will grow to possess a civilized language and habitat. Captain Richard H. Pratt, 1879. 1867. They came to the land we called Hosdonde, declared it a civilization worth rising from the ashes. I watched how my people were being rounded up like cattle, pushed off of cliffs, our women and children used as target practice. The canals that were left from my brothers and sisters of the Hohokam people overflowed with water again. Dying of thirst would have been just as small justice as the buildings and roads kept coming, a monsoon full of white settlers. They'd ask me, what does it mean when you say Phoenix, Arizona to an Indian? It means looking for shade on concrete as 115-degree heat beats you down. It means missionaries, kidnapping children, save the man, kill the Indian was more of a tagline. It was the shears cutting the long black hair of our native men. It was the uniforms replacing tribal regalia. It was the bars of soap washing out our language. Some of us never left, leaving footprints over slabs of stone and adobe, a mirage of the reservation reflecting off of building windows, street lamps used as consolation to find warm resting grounds, and my non-native brothers and sisters asking me, why are your people alcoholics? Why are your people homeless? Why are your people lost? My answers are never satisfying, never full enough to feel the curiosity, but too honest for them to stomach. When the U.S. government forced us to sign treaties, they had no idea that while burning us down will only give us more heat to rise. We rise with flames sparked by their own language. We rise with feet under our souls, giving us speed, Billy Mills. We rise with thunder in our backs, Jacoby Ellsbury. We rise with poise and grace, Maria Tallchief. We rise to the stars and back, John Harrington. We rise to the silver screen, Irene Bedard, Graham Greene, Wes Studi. We rise to the bestsellers list, Leslie Marmon Silko, Lucy Tavahanzo, Joy Harjo. We rise to the law, Diane Humatiwa. We rise to Congress, Sharice Davis, Deb Holland. We rise from these ashes just like any phoenix. Whew. Thank you so much. So those are pretty much kind of thinking of the poems that we have what we have kind of come through within our our legacy. I'm going to read you, like I said, I'm going to kind of go hard this first part of the poems and just kind of give you a lot of things for you to think about, and a lot of things that has happened within the time of this country. This next poem I wanted to read to you, it happened, I wrote it like 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago. And you may or may not know or remember Standing Rock. Standing Rock and the No DAPL protests that were happening. And if you haven't, and if you definitely don't know what that is about, definitely Google it. Definitely look up on things that had happened within that time. So let me go ahead and kind of give you a brief overview. There was just so much that had happened within that protest. The Dakota Access Pipeline were wanting to do an easement, or kind of to definitely get oil up in North Dakota. And in North Dakota, they while they were trying to get the pipeline, they had to go under the river. Now, where they were doing that, it was a few miles, I think it was like 3 miles north of the Standing Rock Lakota Reservation. And that water, the water was very important, because that water is what they actually use for everything. Like, water is used for everything, for cooking, for drinking, for survival. That's what we all use, the water. So their water was most likely going to get contaminated because of the on how often these pipelines leak. So the children of Standing Rock got together, and they had this run from Standing Rock all the way to Washington, D.C. to petition for them not to have Dakota Access Pipeline to pollute their water. So they made it all the way to Washington, D.C. Nothing had happened, so they came back and they started to do more of a protest. It escalated to where all the nations had all come together, all Indigenous people, all of our allies all came together, and they had a standoff at Standing Rock, and trying to save our water, trying to have that preservation of our land and of our environment. So that's kind of like this thinking of everything that had happened from there. There were definitely some beautiful moments, seeing all of our Indigenous people come together, seeing our children like stand up for our land, and our elders also being there too, and just all of it. It was very beautiful. And of course, there were some very, very hard, really hard things to watch, and that would have been just like seeing authority people out there within like SWAT gear, water cannons being blasted in North Dakota in November, December, January, within that time of where it's like freezing temperatures. They had attack dogs come out there and go against the protesters. There was even at one point, as I remember, they actually bulldozed a sacred site. And it was nowhere near the pipeline. They just went to the sacred site and decided to bulldoze. So there was just a lot of ugliness that had happened. But if you don't know too much about it, definitely Google, definitely research about the No DAPL on the Standing Rock, what had happened. And this is a persona poem. A persona poem that I had written in the voice of Sacagawea. So, and this is kind of that with No DAPL. It's called Apologies of the Northwest Passage. So it has come to this. I was Lewis and Clark's symbol of peace. Women with child on her back leading the corps of discovery. The first time men would take directions from a woman. I didn't know I was an instrument of manifest destiny as I surveyed the terrain, this land and I, we are of the same nature. 1806. No sooner had the ink on the maps dried, the land seized from sea to shining sea. Dear God, had I known the people I'd promised peace to would be rounded up like the buffalo they slaughtered, scalps used as blood-soaked bounty, women killed, raped, and sold, children kidnapped and reformed. If I'd known they had twisted our tongues to cough up their language like blood, I would have let them starve. I would have sunk their books and bodies at the bottom of the river they named after me, shoved them off the cliff along with the plaque reading National Park with the mispronunciation of my name, Sacagawea. What have I done? They put my face on the same gold they stole from mountains I guided across. I was already currency when I came on this journey. My body cast iron displayed in the state capitol courtyard. I see paintings of me wrapped in a flag that represents blood, broken treaties, and suffering. My children, I am so sorry. I listened to your footprints over the pavement of North Dakota Highway 1806. You, a formation of standing rocks. I remember hearing those songs on my travels, songs of protection and water, war cries against the howling of dogs that tore through the flesh of our children, over blast of concussion grenades, rubber bullets colliding with skin, the teeth chattering from the breath of water cannons, the sound of metal scratching the earth until she bleeds black. I hear them raising the dead, gurgling out of the grave, sweet, crude songs of oil. They almost look rich in its reflection. They don't listen. Our people know it would suffocate the life of water, darken our clouds, tremble our grounds. I take responsibility of the hum of machines. I thought they were good men. I was sure I taught them how to be well and noble, how to care for the land, showed them respect for all living things, which included my people. I am so sorry. They spoke of great leaders. I thought they were good men. My beautiful children of the seventh generation, I hear your footprints. Strong voices, you shimmering river stones, you called upon us, your ancestors, for guidance. The spirit of the buffalo ran next to you. Their speed and strength are within you. The golden eagle glides above with protection songs. You are our spirit, our strength, our legacy. You are our prophecy. You are a prayer granted. Thank you. So I'm going to share one more poem with you guys, and then hopefully I get to hear some poems from you all. And or if you have questions or whatever it may have you, I will do my best to answer the best that I can. So this next poem I want to read, it's not more of just I read it when I was, no, I won't do that poem. Let me see. Okay. Okay, so I am going to read this poem, and it's just one of those poems. I'm just going to read kind of a transition from these other three poems. It's called Warning for Storm Chasers. Warning for Storm Chasers. The middle name my mother gave me, Sunshine. This doesn't always mean pleasant. Ask anyone who lives in Phoenix in the month of June as they hide in shadows. My name means sunshine, but the rest of me was created by the wind. Just look at the whistle of my fingers. Look at the whirls of my fingertips. My skin is the color of the sand during a monsoon. I was told I'm pretty to watch from afar. The calm in the air before thunder and lightning is not an invitation to engage. Warning, natural disasters will always leave a path of broken hearts. Writing love poems for storms will result in a momentary panics and search for shelter. Always have an escape plan. I have too many casualties of storm chasers, tossing them like rag dolls I used to play with when I was a child. There is a reason my name has not been used to describe a hurricane. It's because I'm still brewing. You were never meant to be a part of the storm. I should have told you the bear's cage only has room for the bear when only has room for the bear. No, when the storm passes, it passes. Okay. Thank you so much again for listening. Again, I hope to hear you guys some poems from there. So thanks.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing with us. All of those poems were so beautiful. I can't wait to hear more after the break. So just a reminder for everyone, you can sign up during the break to perform. If you feel inspired by the performance that Rowie just gave, the link is in the chat and in the comment section. We're gonna go into a short break and we'll be back soon for some more poetry. Stay tuned.
brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Why they wanna move like that? Why you want gone? Why you want act like that? Why you play hard? Generations caught up, look how things will switch. People there quick, now they wanna move at the quick. Boy wanna throw 10 back, quick. Whole gang, whole man, old school, young jam, all black, MZ, still screaming out of that chain gang. Generations caught up, look how things will switch. People there quick, now they wanna move at the quick. Boy wanna throw 10 back, quick. Whole gang, whole man, old school, young jam, all black, MZ, still screaming out of that chain gang. These brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Why they wanna move like that? Why you want gone? Why you want act like that? Why you play hard? Cold, these brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Why they wanna move like that? Why you want gone? Why you want act like that? Why you play hard? Generations caught up, look how things will switch. People there quick, now they wanna move at the quick. Boy wanna throw 10 back, quick. Whole gang, whole man, old school, young jam, all black, MZ, still screaming out of that chain gang. Generations caught up, look how things will switch. People there quick, now they wanna move at the quick. Boy wanna throw 10 back, quick. Whole gang, whole man, old school, young jam, all black, MZ, still screaming out of that chain gang. These brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Why they wanna move like that? Why you want gone? Why you want act like that? Why you play hard? Cold, these brothers my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Why they wanna move like that? Why you want gone? Why you want act like that? Why you play hard? Generations caught up, look how things will switch. People there quick, now they wanna move at the quick. Boy wanna throw 10 back, quick. Whole gang, whole man, old school, young jam, all black, MZ, still screaming out of that chain gang. Generations caught up, look how things will switch. People there quick, now they wanna move at the quick. Boy wanna throw 10 back, quick. Whole gang, whole man, old school, young jam, all black, MZ, still screaming out of that chain gang.
Filling out my coffee talk on the screen porch. So in love, now you're the one I'm losing sleep for. And I hope the wrong ones slip right through your magic fingers. And I hope we find some way to fall in love like we were. Yeah, you're the only reason I was California dreaming in the first place.
Seeing you in
Sundress seasons got me all up in my feelings for the old days, old days. I've got the summertime blues, thinking about you and me, in the way that it used.
Hello, welcome back. Thank you everyone for sticking with us and hanging out with us tonight. So right now we have a an additional special guest coming to perform tonight, none other than Sharon the Sharon Singh, going to be performing a poem that was created through the poetry workshop with Rowana. Give it up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sharon. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I wanted to share this piece of poetry because I had the honor of actually recording this poetry workshop for you all with Rowana. And, we ended up having this really great conversation about what was happening around the elections and what's been happening around the world with COVID, and how important it is to ground ourselves in this moment. And so the poetry template that Rowana ended up sharing with us was a grounding template, but it was also about really getting in touch with your senses. And so I didn't do it during the session, but I was able to reflect and take some time, and I worked on it a little bit. It's a very quick piece that I realized really helped ground me, and so I'll share a little. I'm going to share it now. Okay, so. Sandwiched between love that I never expected and giver of unconditional love. I see white walls with high ceilings holding dreams of the unknown. Plants holding memories of laughter, tears, and long conversations. I hear the portable heater humming in the corner, trying to warm the limbs of bodies who have chosen to make this home. I feel the soft blanket reminding me of my mom's love through the reminder that I am no longer a child. I smell spices and oil with lemons. I taste leftovers that fill the body but can't fulfill that craving of food made by loving hands and secret minds. I sit with the knowledge that I am loved, I am safe, this is me. Yeah, so that was a grounding piece that, if you all would like to ground yourself and pull it out later on, right? As Rowana said during the workshop, it is a reminder of, sometimes we just have to connect with our basic senses. So thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Up next, we'll have Rowana, our featured guest. That was a beautiful poem. It made me think about my own childhood. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Sharon. That was awesome. That was beautiful. And I hope it helped. And I hope it really did kind of help ground you and kind of calm you and bring you into yourself, into your now. So my philosophy, my concept I'm actually working on right now with my thesis is on how poetry can be it's a ceremony to say, and there's for you to be able to find healing entities within yourself. So the workshop that I had definitely worked with and put out for everybody. I just wanted you all to find a way to help ground yourself and how to kind of remember those calming things about yourself. We are definitely in a climate where things are up in the air, where things are uncertain, where it can be scary, where we can be angry. And it's all of those very charged feelings are about And then it's always good to just be able to like bring yourself back into perspective, to be able to have that exhaling, just like calming, okay. Because when we have really charged emotions, it can definitely mess with our logical thinking and things that we should and shouldn't do. So I really hope that's what the workshop was essentially about. So I hope that you all are able to go to the workshop or to look it up and just to even listen to it or to write, or even just to write. But there's always two different type of writings. There's one where you're trying to calm yourself, and there's another one where you're trying to like either bring education, or you have that anger and that charged emotions about you, and trying to figure out how to express them. So there's two different entities, and they're both not wrong, because those are both things that you're feeling. So I would definitely kind of like look into those things, and that's where the whole balancing act comes in, from being able to calm and collective, and then be also being able to have that charged emotions with you, and how to use them in a positive manner. So with that said, I am going to go ahead and read the poem that I had written, that I had read for that workshop. And like I said, the first part of the poem, the first part of the reading, I kind of wanted to kind of give you like all the education, and that's where like kind of like my charge, learning about my history, learning about, and not just like learning it. Of course, a lot of things I had mentioned are not mentioned in like your textbooks that you would read in high school or middle school, or even some colleges wouldn't even agree with some of the things that we had. But it's I've definitely had heard stories of and then you have to do your research on there of what atrocities had happened. So those were definitely, I guess you can say, my my perspective of those charged feelings, and then I have to I'm back on this side and kind of calm myself and to be able to have that motion. But this is called "Put This in Repeat," and so here is my poem. I have this image in my head. It's on repeat over and over. A replay of a dream or maybe a memory. I could never seem to capture this picture perfect in words or even imitate with a brush of paint, but it feels warm and soothing, like the crack of firewood, the motion of hot coals being pushed from side to side. It's a smell of burning oak, coffee, and my grandma's detergent. It's a safe embrace that my Che would give me, the reassurance of my identity in my dad's stories. It's my self-worth that holds in my mother's songs. It's the strength I have in my siblings' eyes, the duty of a Dene woman in my auntie's daily example. It is the color of my uncle's unyielding faith. It's the expression of love and loyalty from my friends. This flashes in a blink of an eye. When I'm in need of a reminder, when I find myself tired, alone, and scared, this feeling captivating and destructive, words easily to write, easily to express, easily to give into, but this feeling, this image comes and holds me, whispers in my ear that if you are hearing this poem, you are fine, you are perfect, and nothing is wrong with you. That last line is a dedication to an old mentor of mine, the late Christopher Lane. He wrote this amazing poem, and just that line always kind of sticks with me. Then when he had written that, because it's just kind of makes you kind of look and think about your surroundings. So that's my poem for that one. And so I'm going to share with you guys some more poems. I definitely kind of like a little more of a lighter note on definitely on this side of the poems. One of my poems, I have to share this poem. It's like every time I have to share it. It's one of my favorite poems. So I am in this beautiful, loving relationship. My boyfriend that I am with is just amazing. He's just like the best person ever. And it's so interesting. So like, I hope you have all like, I hope you all have experienced love in your life where it just makes you want to be a better person, where like it just like inspires you to do something or to be better, to think positive, or to be proactive, or motivation. And it's just this whole thing. There's always those people in that type of love where you just want to be a better person. And then like where you're just like, I'm going to do it. And it's just because of that type of love. And I really hope everybody is experiences that type of love in their life in one form or another. So I wrote this poem. I don't write love poems. It's really hard to write love poems because it's like, I don't know, you usually get disappointed or not. But here is my love poem. It's called To Be Better. He's in the other room right now playing COD. So if I'm reading this and you hear someone yelling, and definitely that's the love of my life, but he's such an amazing man. Okay, I'm done saying that. You can't fully love someone without fully trusting them. Has been counting my self-doubt by the number of pages in my journal, because you can't fully trust someone until you trust yourself. The first time he told me he loves me, he was leaving my office, walking down the hall. He turned, rushed back, embraced me, whispered in my ear, I love you. My mom would say you can't help who you love. However, you can choose who you can confide in. I believe you would hold my hand steady and to help me write this poem, bring ink to my pages, telling me, show me your insecurities, and I'll remind you how your pen becomes courage. Never in my life's relationships have I ever wanted to be better, to eliminate all apprehensiveness, to be happy. I want to be happy, to show you I believe in you, I trust you, because I love you too. Yeah, I'm in love. So that was that I definitely wanted to share that poem with you. I know I have how much time? Ooh, we have a few more minutes left. So I'm going to share with you two more poems, definitely. Yeah, definitely share it with you, two more poems. Maybe three. I don't know. We'll see how I feel at the end of this, or how you all feel. So the Navajo Nation is one of the largest Native American, one of the largest reservations, nations within the country. We usually go back and forth with the Cherokee Nation. So I think the Cherokee Nation is the largest nation, and then it's us, and like we always kind of go back and forth on that. But the Navajo Nation Parade, Navajo Nation Fair, is a week-long event, so to speak, and it's a week-long event. There's so many different types of events that are happening, so many different things that go on. It's very unique. So if you are ever in Arizona, the first week of September is when they would usually have the Navajo Nation Fair in Window Rock, Arizona. When I was a kid, my grandparents always used to take me to the parade. Like ever since, I was always with them. It was routine. It was our tradition. and we would always go to the parade together. So I'm going to read you this poem, and it's a children's poem talking about my experiences when I was when I would go to the parade with my grandparents. A few words in here that are in Dinepizad in my Navajo language. Asa Yaje means little woman. So Asa means woman, Yaje means little. So that word is in there. The word Che means grandpa, maternal grandpa. And yeah, I think those are the words that are in my language. Astahyaja goes to the Navajo Nation parade. Astahyaja, up before the sun, her Che calls her a good Indian as he sips his coffee black with 2 sugars, the east horizon showing the white line of sun. Her moccasins dangle over the lawn chair, while her blue velveteen dress draped over the lawn chair, keeping her legs warm, her hair at shoulder length with jagged bangs. She had cut her hair with unsupervised scissors the night before, wanting to look her best for the fair. Her brother was also missing clumps as well. She thought he looked handsome. Trucks and cars lined on both sides of the road in Window Rock, Arizona. Grandmas and Che's are wearing their best turquoise. Local politicians on horseback tossing 3 pieces of candy. Res kids fighting over Tootsie Rolls. Asahyaja's Che waving at royalty. Good job. Hello. The parade is coming to an end. All the children start to run and hide. The Apache crown dancers are coming. Astahyaja counting her candy, throwing peppermints at her brother and sister's back. She doesn't hear the bells, but she feels the breath behind her ear. An Apache crown dancer grabs her hand. She screams, cries, and apologizes to her siblings. He lets her go. Astahyaja's mom says to her, I told you if you weren't good, they'd take you. Astahyaja is on her best behavior for the rest of the parade. There's a lot of references in there on different Native American cultures, definitely talking about the Navajo Reservation Parade, and then also the White Mountain Apache crown dancers. They are a staple to their culture and within their tribe, and they're also one of our neighboring tribes as well. So I think this event ends soon, so I am going to ask no. So I have this poem over, and I like doing this poem. It's fun. And my birthday was last month, and I wrote this poem a while ago when I was living in Phoenix, and it was just fun writing it. I'm a nerd, by the way. If you could definitely see in my house, you would find I have a Nintendo Switch. I'm a gamer, I guess. Nintendo Switch, an Xbox. My boyfriend has a PS4. I have a Spartan 117 helmet on my bookcase. I have indigenous comic book and then also different type of indigenized comic book people. So I have an indigenous Batman, an indigenous Wonder Woman, and an indigenous Iron Man. So I am just trying to definitely make my whole house is indigenous. So I have lightsabers. Anyway, I'm just a nerd, and I have Star Wars stuff, so it's interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna read you this poem. This will be my last poem. Like I said, I wanted to leave everything really. This poem and then one more poem, and then after that we'll be done. And okay, so this is called awesome looking microphone that resembles a lightsaber. On October 18th, she sang me a birthday song. Her hands were small and wrinkled, decorated with opal gems and small diamonds. Her peppered hair gently tied into a ponytail. A pair of turquoise earrings delicately hung on her earlobes. Her smile stretched along the 80 years across her face. She started to hum. In mid-tune, she whispered to me that I will begin the most important journey of my life. She said this was during the time when she should have counted every moment. She told me she had precisely 525,600 minutes to her 30th birthday. She said, "My dear, I know you played your 20s well. I'm here to tell you to mentally prepare yourself like a Jedi, meditating, keeping yourself balanced, and to ready your pen just like the world is getting ready for the zombie apocalypse. Yes, you also need to have your zombie plan ready." I'm sitting in this small coffee shop on Roosevelt and Fifth Street. I calmly clear my throat and ask her, "How do you know this?" She then leaned in very slowly and said in a dramatic whisper, "I am from the future." My eyebrows lift as high as they can go. My mind went into instant panic mode, but remained calm, telling this lady she is crazy, making no sudden movements. I respond, okay, do you have proof? She then leans back and puts her hand into the pocket of a black sweater and pulled out a lightsaber. Yes, a lightsaber. I go into instant geek mode and ask if I become a Jedi Knight. Am I the Anakin Skywalker, my blood filled with midi-chlorians, the chosen one to bring balance to the Force? Oh, where did I park my DeLorean? Are you the Doc Brown and am I the McFly? Am I a slash of Terminator where I could travel back and forth in time? Am I the John Connor where I hold the key to save the world from Skynet? She looked at me, raised her eyebrows just as high as I had raised mine, and said, "No. This is what a microphone looks like in 51 years from now. Take this and use this microphone in your poems will be heard across the universe and you will be given tens across the board and no one will stop you. You will be an awesome poet." As a crazy lust for power overcame her face, I had to ask, is there really going to be a zombie apocalypse versus an alien invasion? And then she took a deep breath and started to explain that the zombie apocalypse is just another trend like the aliens were when the Independence Day movie was made. Then I turned to her and I said, "I am not sure when in the future I will turn to the dark side, but it's not going to be today. Take that microphone back to the future with you because my poems will be judged without the mystical powers of an awesome looking microphone that resembles a lightsaber." She then turns to me, morphs into this liquid silver chick with a glowing VCR red eyes. And before I can manage and yell, "OMG," out pops John Smith, Spartan 117, and pulls me from my seat as I see that he had stuck the plasma grenade on the Terminatrix as the awesome looking microphone that resembles a lightsaber was tossed in the air as she explodes, then melts, then evaporates, and I manage to catch the awesome looking microphone that resembles a lightsaber, which I will call my precious. So, yay, I got a 10 out of 10. Thank you all again so much for having me here, for sharing poems with you, being a little bit lively and everything. I really appreciate all of this. Definitely you can come to my Facebook. I have a Facebook page, which is Rory Shabala's Book of Poetry. I have an Instagram. I actually have a weird TikTok. I don't do poems on there. I'm just TikToking away type of thing. But again, I hope I enlightened you all. I hope I made you smile. I hope you guys had like a breath of fresh air and just a little bit just at ease. Those were kind of my goals for tonight. So I am going to read this last poem for you. When I was talking about how poetry is a ceremony, that thought came into me because of my dad. He was the one who actually told me once upon a time when I was in this state of uncertainty and fear, and was trying to help an individual. And he had told me that my poems, and artistry pretty much is a healing entity, because we do it for those who can't. We do it for the healing aspect of it. So I'm going to end with this poem, and I hope you guys are all well. I hope you guys are all healthy. I hope you're all safe and protected. And I hope you have a really bright future. This is called I Am Their Invention, Hojo. I give this to you a blessing. The world before me is restored in beauty. The world behind me is restored in beauty. The world below me is restored in beauty. The world above me is restored in beauty. I give this to you, a song. I am the song creator. I am the daughter of my mother, harmonizing this song she sung to me as a baby. The breath she gave me crafts the whistle of the wind, Senjakina, painted on the walls of Canyon de Chelly, eyes for stars, dreamer, crystal gazer. I am a storyteller. I am my father's daughter. Stories given to me in the canyons of Nazlini, the water that trills through the Arizona sands, Dashchitni flows through the river of my veins. The ceremony is what they gave me, my pen. An instrument used in my ritual for healing, hand trembler. Let this poem vibrate through your ears. Let our words as poets be a remedy. Let our poems as prayers for protection, a kind heart, and an identity. I am the poet. I am the elder to my brother and sisters, the scratching ink from pen to parchment, the spoken word he pushed on the stage, the spark he created with flint, brass bucket, twotsoni, water woman. I am the author. I am my grandparents' grandchild, recording the origin stories with the 4 strands of my bloodline, writing with the ink given to me from generation to generation, intertwining them layer by layer, handcrafted loom rug weaver. Watch the morning dawn rise to our ceremony. Just like every dancer, writer, and musicians, we speak, we dance, we sing. We do this for those who cannot. We are keepers of a sacred right. I am the painter. I am the dancer. I am the musician. I am the poet. I am their invention. My voice is restored in beauty. It is finished 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 in beauty. I am their art. Bonjour. Again, thank you very much for all of you here listening, tuning in, and I hope you're all blessed, and I hope you're all safe and healthy once again. Thank you.
That last poem was so beautiful, and the one before that was freaking awesome, and all the ones before that were just wow. Okay. But thank you, Rowana, for being our featured artist for Native American Heritage Month. If you want to see more of her work or just know more about them, Rowana is on Instagram, so it's at Rowie Shabala _poetry, and also the poetry workshop she facilitated should be on YouTube. For Mosaic, I think does it have 4 C's? Like that's how you look it up, Mosaic with lots of C's. We'll put the Rowana's Instagram tag in the chat.
Yes. Yeah, Mosaic CCC. So it's 4 C's, but it's Mosaic CCC on YouTube. Thank you, Ilse, for co-hosting with me and repping Nassau. So sad news, this is the last open mic of the semester. Very sad, but since this is the last open mic for the semester, I wanted to give props to Karen from the student union and the Mosaic team, Chris, Sharon, Erica, and Jazz. Thanks for holding it down every open mic. And yeah, make sure you check out our open mics next semester. You can learn more about those if you follow our Instagram at SJSU Mosaic, or subscribing to our YouTube channel, Mosaic CCC. And yeah, thank you for coming. Good night. Be safe. And yeah.
And a huge shout out to Kenny Beats for holding it down. We knew going to the semester that we wanted to do open mics because we wanted to hold community still. And Kenny was like, I got this. And so thank you to Kenny for being our MC all semester and holding it down, and for Ilse for being our wonderful, magnificent rep from Nassau and our MC as well. Thank you, everybody.
To be summertime blues, hoping that you might be still holding on to me. I still do think about you in the morning when I'm waking up. Laying in this bed without you has got me lonely and missing your touch.